Jay Sano without intro music. Jay Sano with intro music. Intro music remix. Jay Sano 19. Jay Sano 19. Jay Sano 19. Jay Sano 19.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back. And it is post-marathon.
We did it.
We did it! Yay! We actually haven't recorded since it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, because I went to London,
right?
And so I was gone, and you didn't go anywhere.
Correct. But we should keep the viewers informed that the goal is not to get ahead like that all the time.
Right.
We only did that because we knew there was time frames that we were going to be unable to record. So we did pre-record episodes in bulk that we don't plan on being that far ahead in this particular series.
I guess we could say we've talked to some of the other people on the server, and they want to play too.
Oh yeah, actually, did we ask anybody to play today?
We did, kinda, but then we never actually scheduled anything. But there's a couple people I know that said they want to play with us. So
yeah,
we should have guests and stuff.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know what we should do. Because a lot of people were confused, even in Minecraft. They didn't realize we were still playing again because they saw that first episode.
Yeah, I've had a couple people that were confused by that. Who was it?
It was Beef. Beef was the first one who said that to me. He was like,
I think it was Doc whenever I was in... No, it was Arcus. It was Arcus when I was in London. Arcus was like, yeah, I saw this CTM thing. And then you put an episode of Minecraft, and I was really confused. And yeah, he did not understand either, basically.
I think it made more sense in our minds than it did in real life.
Yeah. We've really screwed it up.
So, guys, if you guys haven't tweeted it out yet, let them know that we're playing Minecraft Vanilla again. So marathon. Yeah, marathon.
Yeah.
What's your take on marathon this year? 2017 marathon.
I was really happy with just how well it went. Honestly, like there wasn't much that went wrong. Like in the past, there's always things that are going to go wrong for sure. Like there's nothing you can do about it. UHC, there was a snag. I don't know whose idea it was to do a custom map for the second UHC, but whoever that person is, I hope they've learned their lesson.
So you got to remember, I don't know all the things that happened in UHC.
Right,
because I was the co-host during that stuff, and amazingly, being the co-host was so much different than I thought it was going to be that I didn't really have any idea of what was happening because I was so paying attention to the incentives.
Right, all right, it changes the whole thing, really,
completely.
So, in the second UHC, they used a custom terrain generation. Like other than that, the map was vanilla, so to speak. It wasn't like I don't know, it wasn't like loot boxes or something like that, you know what I mean? But there was like custom terrain, so different looking trees, same kind of wood and everything, but different. They looked different, and as a result, there was lots of leaves on the ground that didn't have like wood nearby, and so there was lots of tick updates that were happening. Like the moment we started playing, like there was like apples all over the ground because like leaves were breaking because they didn't have wood nearby or whatever. So all of that just was killing the server, and so there was just tons of lag. The server kept crashing. It was very laggy. It would move and then it would stop for a few seconds, then it would move and it would stop. So which is crazy because the first UHC, we couldn't even get into the server because of Mojang's limits on the number of failed connection attempts, and Anders is not capable of typing his password, so he like exceeded that limit before anyone's ever even tried to log in, and so no one could log in because we were all on the same IP.
So what happened with that? Because we, prior to like hyping that up, had made sure everybody logged in, everybody was connected, everybody was ready. And then I went over there, and we're all of a sudden like, okay, guys, we got to hold off and try to see what we can do about this because we're kind of screwed right now. I thought we were already all set.
So I'd gone around and told people to log in because I knew that, because we had done Hermit Quest, and that's whenever the problem began. Whenever we did Hermit Quest, Anders couldn't figure out how to log in. Beef and Anders both, because you have to log into Twitch first to play modded Minecraft. Right. With the Twitch launcher or whatever. So that was part of the problem, was that they had trouble with that, and then once they got past that hurdle, they kept like failing to log into actual Minecraft. And so that's when that all started. And so after, because I think it's like an hour lockout. So after that first lockout went away, that's when I went around and told everyone to go ahead and log in. But then a lot of people came in late. They, their shift started, and so they didn't all get my message to log in.
Well, did they log out of computers that were logged? I thought we had every computer logged in at one point and like ready to go. Because I was even logged in. I was even logged in for somebody as the spectator because they didn't have an account. But then when I went over to that computer later, they had created an account and logged in under it instead.
Well, there was also the issue where, like, for instance, I had logged in like 3 hours before whenever I'd said everyone needs to log in, and then the session timed out. So even though I had logged in, the session timed out. And then when I went to log in again, it basically gave me the failed username password error, even though I didn't fail my username password, because the way Mojang's system works, which then increases the time between when you can make another login attempt. And so every time one of us tried to log in, we were increasing that time even further. So it was just like this perpetual issue. So yeah, the fix. I don't know if you know. Do you even know how we managed to fix it?
Didn't you guys run a server in offline mode at the end?
We had to run a server in offline mode, but the problem with running a server in offline mode is everyone is just player instead of like Guude or Jason or whatever.
Right.
So we still had to log in order to have our names. So we still had to get past that. So we bought a VPN. And then we logged in to Minecraft using the VPN on every computer. Like, we'd log into the VPN, then we have to log out of that VPN, go to the next computer, turn on the VPN, log in, and then log out of the VPN, and keep going down the list. So everyone was logged in, and then had Minecraft open, and then ran the server in offline mode. So everyone actually had a name. That's why none of us had skins, because everyone wasn't actually authenticated.
It's insane. And I like the fact that Mojang has, protections against, quote unquote malicious attempts. But didn't we run into the same problem at PAX in like 2015 when they were running a Minecraft tournament?
Yes.
And
this is not the first time I've seen this happen. In the past, every other time this has ever happened to me, I texted Mark IRL. And he fixed it for me. I actually texted Mark while this was all going on.
And he was probably like, I don't work there anymore.
He works there, but it's not his department anymore. I don't even know if I still have his right number, because he didn't respond. He's probably like, yeah, fuck you, bud. Yeah, so I didn't get a response from him at all, actually. So yeah, I think that was the only big issue we had. We still had some segments that didn't happen because people didn't show up for their allotted time, which always greatly upsets me.
Yeah, I understand.
It makes me so mad. That's one of the few things that just I don't know. Well, I have no sympathy for people that don't come at all after a flight's been bought, and people, like, a lot of people have a lot of sympathy for Pause, and I'm going to go out and be the guy that doesn't have any sympathy. I have sympathy for the fact that he does have this anxiety issue with regard to flying. What I don't have sympathy for is continually saying that you'll be somewhere and then not showing up. So
I completely agree with you. Like, that, you're not going to get any controversy from me. I'm sure the only other thing I could say about that is, haha, fool me once, shame on me, or shame on you, fool me twice, type of deal.
Well, that's why after last year was the third flight I've bought for him that he did not get on, and I told him last year that I don't buy flights for you no more. You can buy your own flights, and if you make it, we'll reimburse you. But this year it was Sevidus doing all the flight stuff, so another flight was bought that he did not get on.
Yeah.
But he did say to take it out of his paycheck with Nerd Fusion, so I guess he's paying it back at least this year.
I mean, that's in Pause, no matter what, he's always good for it. Like, I think Justin has confirmed to me that he thinks he's going to be good for it, but Justin was there with the plans to spend another week with Pause.
Oh, right. I mean, and that's kind of the funny thing, because I stream with Justin many nights a week, and so they had this plan early, like months ago, where Paws was going to fly to the East Coast, and they were going to do this road trip to TwitchCon. It only changed like recently, like in the last few months, just like, but the plan was still the same. There was this road trip that was going to happen, and I kept telling him, I was like, yeah, no, it's not happening, man. It's not happening. I'm sorry, Justin, but it's not happening. He's like, nah, man, I think Paws is good for it. It's like not gonna happen.
I think if Paws got on the first plane, he'd have been good for it.
Sure.
Paws, he doesn't have any problems with cars.
No, yeah.
It's just the plane, and I do understand the anxiety, and I get that, and I'm like, oh, that sucks that he has that anxiety, but I completely agree with you. Quit telling us you're gonna be somewhere and not be
right.
somewhere.
Which he did say last year he wasn't going to do that anymore. He wasn't going to say he was going anywhere, and he said that again this year. And as long as he holds to that, I don't have any problem with it.
Right.
Like, I'm not trying to shit talk the guy or anything for those out there listening. I know you know that, but yeah.
Everybody loves Paws. I don't think anybody dislikes Paws at all. By the way, I'm in a bed. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm coming to the bed.
Sitting there, sleeping.
And Nebris was supposed to be there too.
Hold on.
A lot of people asked me actually.
Hold on, I'm catching up on my sleep. You don't have to get in bed yet. This is because it feels good just to sleep. Because we didn't do that. Well, we
right?
Go too well.
But Nebris missed his flight because his car wouldn't start, and I mean, I guess I have more sympathy for him because he immediately said, you know, if we can change my flight, I'll come. I'll take an Uber. And I guess what was annoying with that was that he checked and he definitely there wasn't time. Yep, that his flight got delayed, so he would have made it. But you know,
at first I was actually a little upset at Nebris because the way I read what he said, I was like, oh, your car didn't start, so you decided not to go, and that was it. But then when you found out later, it was no, he tried a bunch of things to get his car to start, and then he was going to Uber and realized he was not going to make it, and then started contacting people about, okay, how do I get my flight changed to a later flight because I still want to come.
Right, but yeah, the cheapest flight change was $980, and
insane.
Yep. So that did not happen, obviously. Which is a shame because I haven't seen him in quite a while. We used to record together, and then he got tired of the new Minecraft changes, so we haven't played the modded Minecraft we were doing in a long time with him. We still do it, but not with him, basically.
Well, I do just know that I got, and I'm sure you got, like, as little, if not less. And we're not the people who got the least amount of sleep either, but I got a total of, I think, 10 hours of sleep in the 4 days that I was gone from DC for. Which
see, I got that one night that we went back to the hotel together. That was the first night I slept. How much did we sleep then? 3 hours?
2. It was 2 at the max.
And then that next night I got 1 because I sat in the bar or in the lobby. Not the bar wasn't even open with Seth until like 3, and then we left at 3:30. I think it was. Did we leave at 3:30? What time did we leave?
We left at 4 because I was late.
You have to call my room. Oh yeah. So here's the story with that. I went down to the lobby, and we were going to meet in the lobby at 3:50. I think is what it was, right?
Right.
And so I get there and you're not there. And I was really surprised because you're always where you say you're going to be, basically. So I was like, huh. And I started not even worry about it. I was like, you'll probably be here in a second.
I'm glad you
Drew
did.
Went to go yeah. Drew went to get his car, and so I went up to the lady at the desk, which was the lady that checked us all in the day we arrived at the hotel. So
she knew we were together.
She knew who we were, right? And I was like, is Jeff Sano in room 131? And she was like, I can't tell you his room number. And I was like, okay, well, I'm leaving to the airport, and he needs to be in this car with me. So, can I call room 31? She's like, all right. And I was like, I hope it's Jeff Sano's room. If not, we're gonna wake whoever that is up.
Well, didn't she then say, oh, hold on, let me check before she
called? Yeah, exactly. That's what she's like, oh, well, let me look. And then so she's like, oh, yeah, that is him. And then she called it.
And it was so funny, too, because what I realized I did is I turned on my alarm. And my alarm is one of those alarms that you set daily. And it defaults to the next day. And I didn't realize it. Like, I was wondering, why did my alarm not go off? And it was because we went to sleep after midnight. So it defaulted to the next day for my alarm to be set, which I think is kind of faulty on like why it did that. Because I was like, what the fuck? I set 3 alarms, 3 fucking alarms to make sure that I got up on time. And yeah, that was why. But it was I was like, okay, you're calling me from the lobby. You're like, we got to go. And I knew my flight was like an hour and a half after yours. So I was going early anyway. And I was like, fuck, I really don't want to deal with San Francisco traffic. I don't know how it is. How bad is this going to be? But I was like, there's no way I can tell Guude, oh, just wait for me. No big deal, because it's your flight that's in jeopardy, not mine. And I was like, dude, if just go without me. I'm not going to make it. I'm just going to hinder you. And you were like, if you want us to wait 5 minutes, I can wait 5 minutes for you. And I had my stuff packed already. But I knew I smelled like ass because, you know, I barely slept in the last, 5 days. And I was like, oh, fuck it. I'd rather get to the airport and just smell. And I'm sorry for whoever sits next to me in the plane because I'm going to smell. Oh, fuck it, whatever. Brush my teeth as quick as I could while I was packing up the rest of my stuff and run out. And I made it out there within 5 minutes, I would assume.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
And you tell me in the car, you're like, oh, if you go to the Delta Lounge, they have a shower. And I was like,
so how'd you like it?
That was, oh my God. The only complaints I have is the lady didn't tell me anything about what I was supposed to do. Like, how do I use soap? I don't understand that concept. No. I mean, so
how do I shower?
So you went to the plane because your plane was early at like 6 o'clock, and my plane was until 8:30. So I'm in the lounge with you as your guest, not even flying on Delta. But I bought my way in there, so I deserve to be in there. They didn't ask me anything about my planes. She goes, I was like, okay, excuse me, miss, can I get into the shower? And she was like, oh yeah, just sign in on this like sheet of paper or whatever. And she's like, what Delta flight are you on? And I was like, I'm not on a Delta flight. I'm on a Virgin flight. And I was like, what the fuck's about to happen right now? Like, what is she gonna do?
Get out!
And she's like, oh, okay. And she just starts walking me over. And I didn't even know where the showers were at. And you know where the front desk of the Delta Lounge in San Francisco is.
Right. Well, I took a shower in there when I landed on the way there. I've used that one.
The shower's at the opposite side of where that desk is in the lounge. So she's like, follow me, and starts walking me through the lounge again. So now I'm like, okay, and I'm walking through in the lounge, and I'm just holding like a little shaving kit bag that has,
I saw that, and I thought to myself as I left, I was like, I wonder if he's got his change of clothes with him. Like,
no, that's the thing is, it just had shaving cream, or excuse me, a toothpaste and a toothbrush, and it has a razor in there, but I wasn't going to shave while I was in there. And she walks me into the room, and she goes to one of the showers, and I got really confused, and she opens it up and looks in and goes, okay, let's use the other one. But nobody was in there, and I was like, okay, that's weird.
Maybe they didn't clean it the day before?
But maybe not, but we're in this little area that has like, the place with all the clean towels and little shampoos and things like that are sitting there.
Right.
And she opens up the room to the shower, and she's like, okay, go ahead and use this. And I said, oh, can I get some of these, like, do I just grab a towel from here or what? And she's like, no, there's towels inside. And I was like, okay. So I just walked in this shower room, which is a huge fucking bathroom with a shower in the back, a toilet, a sink and all this stuff. And there's towels in the corner with, shampoos and this and that. So I shower and I get all finished and I'm like, she never told me where to take this stuff. Where do I take my dirty towel? Where do I take my dirty washcloth? Well, that's the thing is, I like walked it out to the other room that had all the clean towels and stuff in it. And I'm staring around like, okay, there's no place to put this in here. The desk is clear on the other side of the Delta Lounge. So am I supposed to walk my dirty towel and all that stuff just like through the Delta
you didn't,
Lounge?
Did you?
No. I just was like, I hope this is right. And I just threw it back in the shower and went and sat back down in my seat like I was never in there, just in case somebody questioned it. I was like, because like shortly after me, she was walking somebody else back to the shower room. And I was like,
right.
I don't know what they're about to say about the guy who left his fucking mess in the shower room. Like, who's not even flying a Delta airline or whatever.
No, it's all right. But the only thing is you're supposed to normally tell them after you get out so they know that you're out so they can clean it.
Yeah, I did not do that because it was so far away. And you had told me as well, which confused me, was just to leave my stuff there. So literally, I have a suitcase and a backpack just sitting there at a table, which turned out to be like fine. But I was like, I'm at an airport. Like, this is completely not allowed. Like, you can't do this, right? I'm through security. I'm through security though. Like, they can't really complain.
So as I left, you were walking past me to go to the shower, and it all came to me what you had asked me. Because whenever you would ask me, do you leave your stuff here? I understood that as, do I leave my stuff here while I go up and ask for the shower? Which is like, yeah, man, just leave it here while you go ask for the shower. And then I thought, well, he's gonna need it when he goes to the shower because this is where his clothes are at. So he's gonna take his suitcase into the shower with him because he's gonna want to change clothes. So I thought you were asking me, do I leave my suitcase here while I go talk to the woman at the desk?
No. So
and that was just leave it here. Go talk to the woman at the desk. I assumed you were taking it with you into the shower, but leaving it there's fine. I left my laptop bag out while I've taken a shower before.
Clothes wise, I was fine. Like I had put on before I left. Like I jumped up and put on clean everything except for socks. I couldn't find a pair of socks quick enough, which are easy enough to change, like not in a shower room if I need to. So I had clean clothes as of when I had woken up and gotten in the car with you guys.
Gotcha.
So that wasn't a big deal for me, but it was. I didn't know the option to shower at an airport existed.
When I landed, Drew was like, because I was waiting, I had to wait at the airport for 7 to get there so that Drew didn't have to drive there twice. And he was texting me, and I was like, oh yeah, man, no problem. I just got out of the shower. He's like, what? Aren't you here? What do you mean you just got out of the shower?
Yeah, I had no idea it existed. So I will tell you, I went from thinking I was gonna feel like shit for the entire flight to I felt like $1 million fucking like all the way home. I was like, I feel like I'm flying first class even though I'm nowhere near first class. Like this is amazing. I got to an airport. I have all this free food. Granted, I paid for it. I paid $30 or whatever, but it was I kept eating after you left. I just ate more and more and more. I was just like, I'm here. I paid for this. This shit is mine. Like another bagel, another this, another that. They ran out of coffee at one point, and I felt like that dick. Wow. He was like, excuse me, you need to fill the coffee pot up because I need some more coffee. I was kind of upset that they didn't have to-go glasses. They didn't, really. Yeah, they did not. No, and I expected that would be something that they would have normally had. They normally do. Everyone, I'm used to this because it's actually Starbucks coffee they have in there, and they normally have the whole Starbucks cups and everything. And I moved from the Starbucks coffee to that little espresso machine thingy that they have, the mocha machine. I made a mocha. Yeah. At one point through some little. I think that's a Starbucks machine actually. Doesn't it have the Starbucks logo on the top? I didn't pay that much attention except that there was little marshmallows and it was free to me and. I thought about going up to the bar and asking for a drink just because I was like, this feels amazing. Right, you've already paid. Let me get everything. It seems so early, right? Well, it was early, and I was not in the mood. Like, I'm one of those people who, if it was early and I had just gotten up from a full night of sleep to go get on a plane, I'd have been like, fuck, give me some Baileys for my coffee or something like that. Right. Just like, let me relax. I'm on a plane for the next 6 hours. Like, who fucking cares? I was still so tired. I was barely staying awake in the Delta Lounge, and I didn't want to go to sleep in the Delta Lounge because they don't know my flight. Right. Oh, this is amazing too. So I flew a trip from DC to LA, from LA to San Francisco to get there, but was randomly flying a trip directly from San Francisco to DC back home. To Baltimore, I should say, because I flew into Baltimore so that I can get my story straight. Both of them were from Baltimore, from and to Baltimore. I'm not understanding why I couldn't get this direct flight from Baltimore, and I had looked the night before to see if I could switch my flight to the direct flight, and I couldn't find it. It didn't exist. Well, I walk up to my plane when it's finally getting ready for my plane to start boarding. I leave the Delta Lounge. It was sad to leave there, but I left the Delta Lounge and. I walked over to Virgin Airlines, which I was flying, and I see fucking balloons over top of the entranceway to the gate where the plane's I saw that. Those pink balloons. I didn't know what that was. So I was apparently on the inaugural flight of their new San Francisco to Baltimore route. No, okay. So they didn't have a direct route. So they didn't have a direct route until the one that I was on. And not only was there balloons, but I got a cookie. I got a bottle of water. And then when we got to Baltimore, the captain was like, if you look outside your left window, we are going to get a water cannon salute on the way into our gate for this inaugural flight. And I was like, what the fuck? And there's literally a fire truck shooting the deck gun over top of the plane. Christ. I was like, This is so wasteful, yet so amazing right now.
That's insane.
Who would have thought that a new route of a flight gets a fucking water cannon?
I didn't know it got all that. That's insane. I'm in the bed, by the way.
Oh, I'm in the tower, and apparently I made this at half height, which may be good or may be bad, but I can't put torches on it. Hold on, let me get up there. So yeah, it was. I'll tell you, the direct flight was so much nicer on the way home because it was literally a 5.5-hour flight that I slept for 3 of, and then got up and watched like a movie, and I was back in Baltimore. So I didn't even feel like I left San Francisco. It was just like I was like riding high from.
God, I had a connection in Minneapolis, and that airport, I forget how big that airport is. You go through a mall that's bigger than most malls in like America at some point if you have to change between
like
far gates.
The Mall of America?
Well, yeah. It's
which is
like double the size.
Minneapolis?
I know. It might be. It might be like an airport version or something. I don't know. It's the biggest damn mall I've ever seen. And yeah, so like in between gates, it's just like the longest journey of your life. And it doesn't even look like you're in an airport. That's what's so weird is it really does look like you're just in a mall. It reminds me of old airports before,
I mean,
before you could just go to the airport.
That's kind of cool because airports in general kind of suck.
Yeah. I like the one in Detroit though. Just a straight line. Where are you going? Down this gate, this area.
As long as you are in that specific terminal, and I know exactly what terminal you're talking about because I've flown it many times. Oh shit, that's the exit. I just dug the wrong planks. I've been there many times. The one that has the monorail.
Yep.
It used to be the. Do you remember Northwest?
Mm-hmm.
There used to be the Northwest Airlines, which got bought out by like ATA, and then got bought out by, I think, Southwest. I'm not 100% sure on that, but they did. So that was a brand new terminal for that specific airline when it was in its heyday, and then it kind of got bought out by somebody else, and now it belongs to a different company. But yeah, I've flown there many times. I've watched many Alliance games at that airport. I usually fly through Detroit, ironically, when I'm even going to, the marathons in the past. I've pretty much always flown through Detroit, and I'm not sure why this time I flew.
Well, it's a big hub for Delta, and I wasn't booking our flights this year, so everyone wasn't forced to fly Delta.
Wait, what the fuck can I place this?
Because you didn't fly Delta out there, right? A lot of people didn't fly.
No, I didn't fly Delta.
Basically, I only look at Delta flights and book Delta
I guess
flights.
that makes sense because I didn't fly Delta at all.
Yeah,
I flew. Oh, that's why it's a half blank. Alaskan version, which I'd never flown before. And I'll tell you, Virgin was kind of nice because I was confused at first because Virgin has the entertainment in the seat back, which is pretty awesome. I like that anyway because then I can even watch a movie while I pull my laptop up and do something else, and I don't have to use my own laptop to do all the in-flight entertainment. But you order your drinks directly on they don't have drink service per se. You just order. And somebody brings you your
They don't come down
drink.
the aisle, really. You just pick what you want, and they bring it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think that they did an initial drink service when I went to sleep, because I remember a cart coming by, but I was like in and out of consciousness because I was so tired.
Right.
But when I woke up, I literally just like was looking at my thing, and I was like, food, and I hit the button, and it was like drinks. I hit the drinks, and it was like free drinks. And I was like, oh, coffee. How many creams, how many sugars do I want? And I hit the submit button, and like 2 minutes later, some lady was like, oh, here you go. Here's your coffee, sir. And I was like, oh, This is awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah. You don't have to wait for them to come back or at their leisure.
That's what I hate is like, so like, I have all these like drink vouchers. And so I flew economy coming back from London. And they don't ever come by to give you drinks. And if you like press the little button for them to come and you ask them for drinks, they treat you like a piece of shit.
Well, yeah, because you're not supposed to hit the call button for drinks, man. That's for emergencies. Obviously.
Well, no, I don't. I mean, I did it like one time in my life, and I basically learned my lesson. I've never done it since. And so, like, I don't know how you get more drink.
I said that facetiously because that's how they treat those buttons in an airplane. But if there really was an emergency, I think you would know pretty easily in the small confines of the airplane. Like, if somebody hits the emergency or the button, it's not like, oh my God, somebody's dying. They called 911. Let's find our route. Let's get there. You know, it's not. That's
Right.
not what it's really like in real life. It's just the way to say, "Hey, I need your attention." But that's not how they treat that button. The button's sacred.
No.
I've never hit the button because the button's sacred, and I know it, and I don't want to get in trouble, and I don't know why I'm that guy. I should just be like fucking bing, bing. So, how do you like your job? Okay. Cool.
Yeah, you do it.
It's. By the way, that's a nice scarf.
You know, mentioning our hotel rooms, the fact that we actually had hotel rooms was pretty lucky.
Oh.
Like, it was so crazy getting there and having hotel rooms, and then being informed the night when we went, me and Sebs went to check in. They called us earlier that day, and they were like, "Yeah, those 20 rooms you have, we gave those to firefighters and evacuees."
So I will tell you, I was mad the night before I flew out, and I was a little upset with the group, and it wasn't really at the group. It was just because, like, the situation, and I didn't know what was happening behind the scenes either. So it turns out I had no reason to be mad. But I mentioned something in the Minecraft chat about why are we taking up all these rooms and not sharing rooms when there's all these evacuees who need a place to be right now? And somebody posted, and I don't remember who it was, said, "What, do you really want to share a room with somebody?" And I was like, fuck yeah, I do. If it means evacuees are going to get a place to stay, absolutely I want to share rooms. But somebody was a little upset about the concept of sharing rooms.
Really?
So yeah.
Well, see, the plan was always to share rooms. Honestly,
Right.
Every year we've always shared rooms. We had guests that didn't come and stuff like that, and so there was extra rooms. Like, we had people that were supposed to be there and they didn't, but there really wasn't supposed to be anyone that wasn't sharing a room. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it turned out there was a lot of not shared rooms amongst the group.
There was. But no, I didn't actually see all that chat because I guess I was busy setting up and stuff like that, so I missed that. But I mean, there was a time period where we had no rooms. Like, our rooms definitely went to evacuees and firefighters. There's no question about that.
Which
because
I'm very happy with, because I was just like, yeah, I would sleep like 2 or 3 or 4 to a room if it means evacuees and firefighters and stuff are getting rooms. Like, I'm not going to be there. Like, I was in my hotel room for a total of, the very first night was the most we were in the hotel room. And
that's the other thing I don't understand is just we're never in the room. Like, you know, like Drew was my roommate, for example, and I mean he didn't even go there until after basically when it was all over. The first night,
I didn't have a roommate at all. And granted, I love having my own room, but I had no reason to have my own room.
Right, yeah, no.
So yes, but I was glad it all worked out, because how did it end up working out? They got other places because they moved us.
Yes, so we went over to the Marriott that we originally had rooms at, and
which, by the way, was a nicer Marriott.
No, you never even seen that Marriott.
Oh, a room you stayed in before that I was there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was where we were supposed to. There was a Marriott that was really close to Pixel Corp, that you never even saw.
Oh, was that the one we were originally supposed to be in?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought the one we were in was the closest one to.
No. There was one. Then that's where the rooms went to firefighters and evacuees. Was in the Marriott that you never even saw.
Fuck those guys. Then I'm just kidding.
That one was like 3 minutes away. Basically, was the one that we were supposed to be in.
I didn't know that.
So we'll probably be there next year unless the whole state's on fire again.
Oh, I really thought that this place was just really away from all major hotels.
No. There's a Marriott that's close by that will hopefully
not
be
that
in
the
next
one we
year.
stayed at was that far away. It was just far enough away that it made it difficult to get transportation.
Right. So yeah, hopefully next year we'll be able to stay. But yeah, so we went over there to see him, and he was basically like, "Yeah, I had to give your guys' rooms away. I hope you understand, but I'm doing everything I can to find you somewhere to stay." And originally, the best he could do was in San Francisco.
Holy shit, that would have been terrible.
Southern San Francisco too. It was like an hour and 30-minute drive.
Yeah,
basically
that would have sucked. But I will tell you, I would have understood, and I think we would have all just stayed at the studio.
Probably. Yeah, there probably been a lot more sleeping at the studio than there was. I mean, there was a lot of things that was stressing me out because some people were worried about money coming in, and so they didn't want to have to take Ubers at all. And so we were hoping to have a lot of that stuff covered. The other thing was catering was something we were hoping to have because people couldn't afford food. I mean, it sucks that, you know, there's just the amount of the expense to all of this. And I mean, it's great to raise money, but there's some people that just can't afford to even come to these sort of things whenever they have to, just the cost of it all.
No, completely understandable. Yeah, we're there volunteering our time to raise money for charity, and it is hard to kind of be like, oh, I'm here to raise money, but I need to spend all this money in order to help raise money for a charity. Like, and I get that, like, from people who aren't financially like necessarily stable, and it's hard for them to go leave their house and not record, because not recording is money that they are theoretically losing.
Like, right. No streaming, none of that.
I get it.
So yeah, we went over there, and basically he sat on the phone while we sat there for like an hour, calling different places, different Marriotts, and eventually it worked out where me and Sev and Drew stayed where we were supposed to stay originally that first night, because he didn't have anyone that was coming there.
That makes so much more sense, because we were all confused about people staying at a different place that first night, but you guys had a different first night than we were realizing.
Right, because we were there a day before anyone else to set up.
Yes, okay.
Actually, Drew got there on Monday, and he slept in his car until Wednesday. Whenever me and Sevenus got there. Yeah. You know, when he picked us up at the airport, his back seat was just blankets. He's like, yeah, I've been sleeping there. Dude, just going to the studio during the day.
Drew is like, Drew is one of those people. I don't think I'll ever meet another person like him in the world. Like, he's just the absolute nicest person I have ever met in my life, and I wish he was like a millionaire. Yeah,
and it sucks because every other year prior to this year, we paid him for his time, and this year we didn't have a budget to pay him, so he volunteered. He didn't have to be there. Every other year, you know, he's been hired basically, and this year he basically volunteered his time to come.
That fucking guy needs like the most recognition.
Yeah, we need like a Drew or something. Just so yeah. Anyways, the hotel guy finally found another hotel that was willing to book us one night that was closer by, and then we were going to be in San Francisco the rest of the time. And so we accepted that, and he said he would get a shuttle to take us from the place that you saw for one night to downtown San Francisco for the rest of the time. And so we were like, all right, that's the best you can do. It's best you can do. And, you know, like, thanks for working through all this with us anyways. Then he called us right after we left and was like, all right, there's a place to the south of here that can take you the rest of the time, and it's not all the way in San Francisco, so we'll have the shuttle take you there instead. So basically the place, it ended up working out where we stayed in that one spot for that one night. Well, me and Seven stayed in one spot. Then y'all came in. We stayed in one spot. And then he'd set us up with that shuttle that took us, which was a nice fucking shuttle too, by the way.
Oh yeah, the shuttle was great.
Like first class shuttle that took us where we stayed the rest of the time. But yeah, that was all Marriott working it out to make it all happen. Oh, yeah. And they price matched too. Like, Marriott was a sponsor, but what they did as a sponsorship was they just gave a set amount of money towards everything. And so we were still trying to find the best hotel rate, because they're like franchises, right? Where it's like, even though Marriott Corporate was a sponsor, we had to work out. We still had to pay the place that we were staying, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we still had to stay at Marriott, right?
Right. For sure.
Yeah, there was a Marriott International was just like, hey, here's some money, but stay at a Marriott with this money.
Right, exactly. And so the other Marriotts, like the one that we stayed at, was Jesus Christ, skeletons, creepers! Oh my God!
No. The Marriott did not have skeletons, creepers. Like, people, do not listen to what this man says. He's crazy. Bet on the sauce.
Jesus Christ, that scared me. I forgot it was mobs this game or something. It just caught me off guard. But yeah, the one that we stayed at was like $100 more a night per room, and they ended up price matching, so we didn't have to pay that much. So it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, the one we stayed at, I'll admit, kind of sucked. It was obviously an older hotel. The bar closed really early, and the one we stayed at the first night, like we stayed at the first night, not you, was really nice. And so I was like, oh, like if this is where we're staying now, where are we going to be staying next time? And it turned out to be like an older place. It's not like it was bad, so I'm not saying oh it was a terrible place, like nobody wants to be there. It was just it was older. There's no question about that.
I think it was an old apartment complex, honestly, is what it reminded me of.
It definitely kind of looked like that in the way that the patio doors all went out to.
Yeah,
it definitely felt like an old apartment complex.
All right, we should end our episode here. We've kind of rambled on for a longer than normal.
But so. thank you, Marriott, and I don't mean to talk bad about your hotel. It was great. It was wonderful. I'm just saying it was older. That's all. But it was wonderful. Thank you for supporting the firefighters and the evacuees, and also being able to get us fit in there when there was room. So that is the most important part.
All right. Bye, everyone.
See ya.